UPSC arena is an ever-evolving space where staying up to date becomes as crucial as maintaining a thorough preparation. With strategic planning and holistic coverage for exam syllabus, Vision IS Delhi presents GS Foundation course. Avail analysis and integration of current affairs with GS syllabus. All India test series with an innovative assessment system, inculcating post-test analysis, discussion, All India ranking, and more. Explore the holistic learning modules intrinsically designed for the ideal aspirant.
We are going to enter in the last phase of our discussion, that is role of civil service in democracy and issue related to lateral entry. But you have a question that negatives of All India Judicial Service. One major negative I shared with you, it is considered as anti-federal. It is considered as anti-federal. Second, I'm not talking about the validity of the criticism, but criticisms are there. One is anti-federal. Second, language barrier. Third one, lack of consensus. Lack of consensus. Fourth one, unprofessional treatment to people who are professional in nature. One another criticism, judicial service is different from the civil service in nature and spirit both. Judicial service is different from the civil service in nature and spirit both. people used to say that All India Judicial Service will create red tapeism in judiciary also. Red tapeism in judiciary also. Why red tapeism? How red tapeism? Present Prime Minister of the country, when launched Mission Karma Yogi, he said, Indian bureaucracy is suffering from red tapeism. Civil servants are not supposed to be machine. They are not supposed to be a servant of law. They are supposed to be servant society. They are not appointed to obey the law. They are appointed to commit themselves to constitution and people of the country. They are for the people of the country. They are not for the law of the country. But unfortunately, they are victim of that. Judicial service is not like civil service. If judgment will not come on time, Article number 19 and Article number 21 of the Constitution directly will be in jeopardy. Because as per record provided by Government of India, more than 77% of prisoners are under trial. If judgment will not come on time, then percentage will increase and people who may be acquitted will suffer from the violation of Article 19 and 21. Most important 21, because dignified life going to be denied. So judiciary is not expected to be a victim of that kind of red tapeism. One another aspect you will find that states have their own autonomy to decide district judiciary. Particularly when you will talk about civil matters. Civil matters vary from state to state. Criminal matters will be same, but civil matters will vary from state to state. If civil matters will vary from state to state, a state will always demand some sort of autonomy in that area to decide and to regulate the judicial appointments and judicial regulation as per the demand of the state. But All India Judicial Service will dent that. One another aspect, that High Court in one state is equivalent to High Court in another state. And both are independent in their area. One High Court is not a court of record for another High Court. But whenever you will come out with All India Judicial Service, only one source will be there to man high courts across the country in the same way. Very difficult for them to be trained as per the demand of the state, because their training program will be same. So judiciary is expected to take care of the people who are the last in the queue. And a speedy trial as well as a speedy justice will be demand of the day. And justice will be demand of the day will not be sufficient enough if that justice will not be in language to understand comfortably and easily. You will find in Maharashtra judgments in Marathi. You will find in Kerala judgment in Kannada. And still we Indians are not in a position to translate all judgments in English and Hindi. Still cases are in Kannada, Malayalam, Telugu, Tamil, etc. How it will be possible for the person from Tamil Nadu to go to Bihar or Uttar Pradesh to give judgment technical in nature in Hindi or in English? That kind of problems come or may come because of All India Judicial Service. So I told you, All India Judicial Service is one step forward, but not only one step forward. Other options we will have to be careful about. Clear? This kind of points you can note. Now, my another topic is civil service. And you all know civil service. Topic is very clear and very straightforward. Don't take it otherwise. In first session I was not aware about you. Now little bit I have. So don't take it otherwise. Role of civil service. You people are going to be a part of civil service, hopefully. What is expected role of civil servant? Based on your understanding, based on your knowledge, based on your class experience, 1 or 2 points, 1 or 2 sentences I want from your side. Any of you, you also. What is expected role? 1 or 2 sentences, not more than that. Okay. Okay. First of all, we should know that a role is different from function. UPSC and your syllabus talk about a role of civil servant, not a function of civil servant. So role will always be different from functions. When you will come out with analytical expression of the function, your role will come out. For example, your role in your family. So that role will be reflection of your functions you used to perform on daily basis. So here we are supposed to discuss the role of civil servants and that role in democracy. So another question will arise that what is democracy? What is democracy? Whenever this question comes to you, your answer may be Lincoln's answer. For the people, by the people, of the people. Today it is unacceptable. that definition is more or less irrelevant definition today. Democracy is a crazy run by mature people, because demo means mature people. Crazy that is run by mature people, and maturity will not be reflected in age but will be reflected in behavior. So people who are well behaved, people who are ready to respond without allowing self to be victim of I or my, will be entitled to run the crazy called a democracy. The preamble of very Constitution of India, you will find we the people of India. We is going to symbolize the integrity, unity. It is nothing but a compound like in chemistry. And compound is different from mixture. In compound, you will have to be careful about the sacrifice. There will be no equality in compound. Nothing will be equal. But as per the demand. So egoism will be reduced to zero. Then crazy will be run. That will be called democracy. So civil servants are expected to perform there. And when we will think about this kind of civil service, back of the mind, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel should be there, who talked about steel framework. It means civil servants are supposed to be a spinal cord of the country. The civil service particularly in 21st century is amazing phenomena. In today's modern state, it is indispensable in any kind of modern administrative democratic system. The quality of the government of the day is directly proportional to the quality of civil service of the day. If quality of civil service good, the quality of government also will be good, and then country will move from governance to good governance, and from good governance to ethical governance. So how country going to move from governance towards good governance, and from good governance toward ethical good governance, civil service in the country will decide. So future of the government, any government, in context of India, state government or union government, rest primarily on the capability, maturity of civil servants. How civil servants are going to perform. What kind of human resource we have in civil service, that will be very important for us to decide. If human resource will be mentally strong and by heart sensitive, emotional, then will regulate self with the support of emotional intelligence. Civil servants without emotion and intelligence will be transformed into machine, will not be human being. And humanity, if will not prevail, there will be no meaning of human being. Because human being, if you are, it is not your contribution. But being human will be your contribution. And if you want to ensure being human, humility will be very important. Civil servants are expected to play a role of that kind of people. Civil servants are expected to relate themselves with the common interest of the country, a common interest of the society. You must be careful, I am not talking about public interest. I am not talking about people's interest. I am talking about common interest. And common interest is equal to mathematically organic interest plus inorganic interest. Organic interest plus inorganic interest. Organic interest means interest of all living beings, and inorganic interest means interest of all non-living beings. Only then you will be capable enough to talk about sustainability. If civil servants will not be concerned about organic as well as inorganic development, if they will not be in a position to respond to organic and inorganic development, they will never be in a position to lead country towards inclusive growth and sustainable development as per the demand of Sustainable Millennium Goal etc. As per the demand of the preamble, fundamental right, directive principles and fundamental duties. And you may know that Supreme Court categorically has stated that along with preamble, fundamental rights, directive principles and fundamental duties should be recognized as a conscience of the Constitution. Soul. Somewhere we will discuss why soul is considered. Why Dr. Ambedkar talked about Article 32 as a soul. What is the significance of this soul? Similarly, what will be the significance of that conscience? When I am talking about conscience of Constitution, what is the significance of conscience in Constitution or of Constitution? That you will discuss somewhere in paper 4 or in paper 2, whenever political Constitution and polity will discuss, or you have already discussed. So civil servants are expected to be concerned about, civil servants are expected to be empathetic towards this common interest. If civil servants will not be empathetic towards the common interest, that civil service will not be a bulwark of Indian democracy. So realizing this kind of thing, when we will classify the role of civil servants, that role prima facie will be divided into two parts. One is performing role. One is performing role, and second one is multiple role. One is performing role and second one is multiple role. Honestly speaking, in detail, not possible. But when I'm talking about performing role, this performing role will be divided into 4 parts. One is a line agency role. Second one is the staff agency role. Third in quasi-judicial role. Fourth one is delegated role. There are 4 different responsibilities. Line agency role, staff agency role, quasi-judicial role, and delegated role. Line agency role is what? Whenever civil servants will perform at secretariat level, whenever civil servants will perform at secretariat level, they will perform primarily as an advisor to minister in policy formulation. Whenever civil servants will perform at state level, they will perform as implementer of the policy formulated by the minister. So when civil servants will perform as an advisor, that will be staff agency role. And when civil servants will perform as an implementer, that will be line agency role. Because line agencies are responsible for the implementation of the program. And staff agency is expected to perform on behalf of line agency. In that case, ministers are line agency responsible to make a law, responsible to formulate the policy, but on behalf of minister who will think staff. Right? So we, the people here, are staff agency for you people. And you people are line agency because you are going to face the exam. So on behalf of you, we are going to read, we are going to cram, we are going to collect informations to vomit before you. So we are a staff agency. So civil servants who will perform at secretariat level will perform as staff. But when will perform at district level will perform as line. Right? So civil servants will perform line agency as well as staff agency role. But the civil servant when will issue tender, quasi-judicial role. Getting it? And delegated responsibilities. It means whenever government will transfer the responsibility to civil servant to take a decision as per the demand of situation, then it will be delegated responsibilities. For example, during COVID-19, any kind of disaster going to hit, then civil servants most of the time will enjoy delegated responsibilities. Right? Whenever civil servants will perform this kind of responsibility, more or less civil servants will be guided by rule of law. It means their own creativity will be in question, will not be more creative, will not be initiator, will not be accelerator, will not be catalyst. They will be simply a machine as per the demand of the rule, as per the demand of law, they will give advice. Suppose minister came to civil servant and requested civil servant give me advice on this particular issue, civil servant will give advice. That's it. Politician or minister will accept advice or not, least bother about it. I was supposed to give advice, I had given advice, that's over. It will be up to you to decide that advice good or advice bad, because ultimately before the people of the country you are accountable, I am not. When civil servant will perform at secretariat level. But the same civil servant when will perform at district level, DM is directly accountable to common people of the area. So line agency. So it will be essential for DM to be accountable to people of the country. That's why RTI will be there. So DM will have to perform as per the demand of law. But here also, DM will not go against the law. Will have to follow the rule of law. Getting it? Now question will arise that do you think civil servants are only for performing role? Because performing role is nothing but a machine-like role. Right? Then how civil service ethics will come? How ethics in public administration will come? Then how it will be possible for civil servants to be a custodian of objectivity, integrity, impartiality, neutrality, dedication, devotion, determination, empathy, compassion, tolerance? Because these all are qualitative aspects rather than quantitative aspects. So civil servants are supposed to play qualitative role also, and qualitative role will come under multiple role. Now the question is, what is multiple role? Being a staff agency, we are supposed to give you advice. We are supposed to give you advice. But when I am here to give you advice I can give you. But if I want to give you good advice, sorry, it will be essential for me to go through my homeworks. Law will not force me to get a good advice. But my conscience will force me to give good advice. So if my conscience will force me to give good advice, before going to enter in class, I will go through my books. It means I will go through research work. If civil servants before going to give advice will not go for research work, that civil servant is not performing as a civil servant. So that is the invisible role of civil servant. Getting it? Civil servants are expected to be crusading reformer. Crusading reformer means what? With folded hand I am requesting you for, don't take it otherwise. When you people enter in class, I try to point out one specific thing to your friend. Why? I can tolerate easily. I can ignore easily. But if I will tolerate and I will ignore, then indirectly I am ready to allow you to be exploited. Then why you are here in class? When your parents will come to us, with what ethics and morality I will face them? That question must be there in the mind of civil servants. Because civil servants after 1 month when going to get the salary, in that salary, the revenue collected by government will be the revenue of even the beggar also who used to pay GST. You must respect that even 1 rupee paid by the beggar. So you are not supposed to do injustice to people of the country who are giving you payment. You are nothing but a servant to society. So it will be essential for us to be crusading reformer. You must take initiative to reform. You must take initiative to change the behavior. You must take initiative to guide the person in the right direction. That person will be guided or not, that will be up to the person, but it will be your moral responsibility to guide. That is the role of civil servant. So civil servants are supposed to be crusading reformer. Civil servants are supposed to be agent of social change. Agent of social change. What kind of social change? It will be the responsibility of civil servants to change the mindset of common people. That is called mental revolution. If civil servants will not go for mental revolution, how it will be possible for common people to think differently? How it will be possible for the common people to think in a positive direction? It will be civil servant to change the mindset of common people. Because they are working with the people. They are supposed to allow common people to take part in the process of the governance. In that way, common people will become accountable to the system. The moment participation will take place because of the initiative taken by civil servant, common people will become a part of the administration. They will become a part of the management. And the moment they will become part of management, they will not always be critic. That will be responsibility of civil servant. It will be responsibility of civil servant to be humanitarian employer. Humanitarian. Humanitarian means what? You must be empathetic. You must have compassion. You must have tolerance. You must be humanitarian in your approach when you are going to deal with your subordinates. When you are going to deal with the common people. The person who is suffering from hunger, if not carrying Aadhaar card, even then is entitled to get food as per Article number 21 of the Constitution. And being a student, you are expected to understand that how the role of civil servant is going to be linked with the fundamental right, how the role of civil servant is going to be linked with one particular article. If you will be in a position to write that kind of thing, then paper 4, paper 2, these all will be interlinked. And that will be reflection of the interdisciplinary and intradisciplinary study. So civil servants are expected to be humanitarian. Civil servants are expected to be catalyst. Civil servants are expected to be accelerator. Civil servants are expected to be agent of social change. Civil servants are expected to, as I told you, crusading reformer. Civil service are expected to be a constructive thinker and optimistic leader. Constructive thinker. You are not going to be appointed to say no, that this is not possible. If it is not possible, I also know why I will pay you. You are supposed to give advice how it will be possible. That will not be your contribution to say that no, it is not possible. It will be essential for you to say how it will be possible, in what way it will be possible. You must be constructive thinker. There must be a hope against hope. If there is a problem, there is a solution. If there is a lock, there is a key. No problem is without solution. You will have to find out the correct key to open. Civil servants are expected to perform in that way. Apart from these responsibilities, there is another vital role waiting for civil servants. That role is called role of medical practitioner. Role of medical practitioner. Medical practitioners will give you life, but civil servants will make your life qualitative. And that's why whenever UPSC asks a question to doctors who face interview, that why you want to be civil servants, that is a pet answer. That civil servants can make life qualitative, doctors can save life only. God will give you life, but how you will make your life colorful, it will be up to you. God will not make. God has given you life. You, and based on your own action, you make your life colorful. You are custodian of your fate. Civil servants are supposed to play a role like medical practitioner, but they are not supposed to play a role of medical practitioner. They are supposed to play a role like medical practitioner. So medical practitioners used to perform 3 types of role. 1, diagnosis. 2, prescription. 3, feedback. 1 is diagnosis. Suppose one district X is suffering from unemployment. Y also suffering from unemployment. You are a DM here. Successfully you address the problem of unemployment. Does not mean the same medicine will be prescribed to this one. Because the reason behind unemployment here different, reason behind unemployment different. So you will have to go for again diagnosis. You will have to come out with prescription. And then feedback also is essential. If you will not go for feedback, then not possible for you to realize the goal. So civil servants are expected to perform that kind of conceptual role also. So in multiple role, you will find what kind of role? Conceptual role. And that conceptual role will be role of medical practitioner. So civil servants are supposed to perform a role of medical practitioner. Civil servants are supposed to perform a role of called conceptual role, and whenever civil servants will perform a conceptual role, then will be different from that medical practitioner or different from medical fraternity. I will repeat again, medical fraternity can give you life, but civil servants will make your life qualitative. So it will be essential for civil servants to know how to make your life colorful. And one color will not be applied to everyone in South India, East India, North India, West India, because the geography will be different. Settlement will be different. Culture will be different. So essential for the civil servant to know how to reduce inequality, how to reduce disease, how to address health problem. Health problem in Kerala, health problem in Punjab will not be same. Health problem in Bihar, health problem in Gujarat will not be same. So different approaches, different diagnosis, different research work will be the responsibility of civil servants. Only then civil servants will be in a position to perform decisive role in democratic system, to make a democracy qualitative and to make democracy progressive towards ethical governance. Today in 21st century, we are not talking about good governance, we are talking about ethical governance. Getting it? So this kind of responsibilities are there for civil servants in India. In most of the books you will find in policy making, in policy implementation, in law and order maintenance, that kind of role. In that way points you will find. But this kind of points you will find where? Here. So that only will not be responsibility of civil servant. Okay? And if that will be responsibility of civil servant, there will be no role of paper 4 in UPSC. Getting it? So this is all about the role of civil servant. And now going to link it with the lateral entry. All of you familiar with the word lateral entry? Okay. Lateral entry. What it is? Lateral entry? Lateral entry. Direct entry. Who will enter? Private people. Okay. On what ground? Beta? Specialization. Okay. Points I am raising. We want experts or specialists. We want expert or specialist. Then you will have to know the difference between expert and specialist. Right? Hardly we bother about it. Specialists are narrow, confined to one subject, one topic. Experts are not narrow, they broader in approach. They will take care of holistic approach to address the problem and to solve the problem. Doctors, you will find a specialist. Cardiologist will not perform operation throughout day. Someone will come and cut, some will come and open the heart, then so-called cardiologist will come, will correct the heart, will return back. Then packaging will be responsibility of someone else. Right or wrong? Specialist called heart specialist. अरे जो काटा उसका क्या? नो, इट इज नॉट माई रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी. तो वो कहां लेके घूमता रहेगा? दिल. हकीकत में हाथ में आ जाएगा, है कि नहीं? बट डॉक्टर्स आर रियली बॉदर्ड अबाउट इट. दैट्स व्हाई सो कॉल्ड टीम इज देयर. Team is performing. So specialist. Right? Now in the light of the role expected to be played by civil servant, already discussed, performing role, multiple role, conceptual role. In the light of those responsibilities, try to think at the very early stage that do you think a specialist will be in a position to perform multiple role or conceptual role or performing role? No. They will not. There was a movie, Munna Bhai MBBS. Doctor was talking about what? See my hand. Not shaky. Before me, whosoever is lying is nothing but a disease-prone machine. And I will check it, I will correct it as a mechanic. I don't have any sensitivity. Again, then, civil servants have. They are supposed to be with paper 4. In short, I am talking about. Right or wrong? They are supposed to be empathetic. Otherwise, how they will think about the slum area? They will not be in a position to think about slum area. It will be essential for them to think about it. So anyway, lateral entry. And you were right. Literally, lateral entry is a direct recruitment, direct selection, direct appointment. Why I told you all 3 words? Because recruitment is different from selection, and a recruitment and selection are different from appointment. You must know it. Recruitment is different from selection, and recruitment and selection both are different from appointment. So direct recruitment, direct selection, direct appointment. And whenever you will go through books or whatsoever material you have, you will find entry of specialists from private sectors, from academic section, from business entities, corporates, etc. The purpose is specialized in knowledge. Right? What kind of knowledge? Specialized in knowledge is required. I shared with you difference between experts and specialist. It is said that when lateral entry will take place, then we will bridge the gap between a so-called generalist and specialist. Generalist and specialist. Tactfully, we are not using word expert. Generalist can be expert. But people who are supporting lateral entry will not talk about expert. They will not talk about this. They will talk about generalist and specialist. Because they want to allow, they want to pave the way for specialist. A specialist will come in agriculture sector, will come in business sector, will come in telecommunication sector, will come in energy sector, will come in IT sector, because they are so-called expert. But they will take care of the network of IT, will not take care of the service of IT to people living in Lahore Spiti. They will talk about network of. But they will not talk about service to people who are living in remote areas of the country. You will not find any expert from any private sector or corporate who think about or talk about even a branch of bank in any remote area, because that will not be profitable. Specialists want to be efficient. If a specialist want to be economic, a specialist may not be concerned about effectiveness and ethical aspect. There is a difference between economy, efficiency, effectiveness, and ethical. So whenever you will attract a specialist through lateral entry, they will contribute in economy, they will contribute in efficiency, but at the cost of ethics and effectiveness. So purpose you will find that specialist knowledge should be welcomed. You will find candidates with sufficient experience. In books you will find 3 to 5 years for deputy secretary level and 14 years to 17 years director and joint secretary level. They will be attracted. But you will not find that experience in which area? Because that experience of joint secretary will be experience including 5-6 years in remote areas in villages also, being SDM or DM. Do you think Manmohan Singh, Montek Singh Ahluwalia, Raghuram Rajan, like personalities have had any kind of rural experience? They all are example of lateral entry. Famous names I am trying to share with you. They don't have. They have theoretical knowledge, but they don't have that kind of experience. Then how they will try to make our government sensitive to society? And Kautilya was of the opinion that civil servants along with king must be a slave to the constitution and first servant to the society. Specialists in private sectors are not servant to society. They are concerned about profit, they are concerned about service, they are concerned about economy, they are concerned about efficiency. Of course, they will be efficient. But what kind of efficiency? Management efficiency. They don't have service efficiency. They don't have policy efficiency. Service efficiency means what? In remote village, you have government sector buses. That is called service efficiency. You will see our government is not enjoying any kind of aircraft. From where you are? Patna and Meerut, and you? Haryana. Haryana is our. Try to find out the fare, train and flight. 4 times increase. 4 times because of festival. There is no control. You can earn, but you cannot serve. You are blessed because of the time. Normal time 3,000, 5,000, nowadays 20,000, 25,000. Lateral entry will lead you towards market-oriented model of administration at the cost of service-oriented model of administration. Lateral entry is good when you will not be concerned about egalitarian society. I am linking with the preamble of the Constitution. Lateral entry will be good if you will come out with the capitalist model. If you will be ready to sacrifice egalitarian form of society, then lateral entry will be good. Lateral entry will be good to take the support of or infusion of specialized knowledge. It will be good to enhance innovation, efficiency, economy in a specialized sector. It will be possible to bridge the gap between public sector and private sector, because person coming from private sector. So there will be a bridge between public sector and private sector. A specialized knowledge is coming. Economy, efficiency, innovation will take place. To maximum extent, red tapeism will come down because they are professional in their area. So they will perform as per their target. They will go with the goal setting model. Which model? They will go with goal setting model. They will be target oriented. In that way, lateral entry will be good. Lateral entry will force civil servant to compete with them. Lateral entry will force a civil servant to compete with them. Private sector's experts, if will come, they will come out with their exposure across the world. So they will try to make system global in nature. That will be positive aspect. Civil servants will interact with the private sector people, then will sharpen their own knowledge. In that way, human resource development will take place. That will be benefit of the lateral entry. But the question is, Indian Constitution stands for what? Indian Constitution stands for socialism, secularism, democratic republic, by ensuring social justice, economic justice, and political justice. So lateral entry should be committed to serve the purpose same. If lateral entry will not serve the purpose same, then article number 15 and article number 16 will be meaningless. Now you must know the provisions given in article number 15 and 16. So lateral entry will raise a question, and that question will be the relevance of article number 15 and 16. You will find there is a 13-point formula. There is a 13-point formula. In short, I will share with you that if there is a vacancy of less than 4, then there will be no reservation. Right? Suppose if there is a vacancy of 100 people, even then, for each post there will be new and separate advertisement, 100 posts, but advertisement 100, then reservation will not be applicable. Getting my point? If there is 100 posts, in one go you are going to fill 100 posts, then reservation will be applied. But if that 100 posts will be advertised separately, then article 15 and 16 will not be applicable as per 13-point formula In lateral entry, you may discuss 13-point formula in detail. 13-point formula. And recently, months before, Union government was forced, or UPSC was forced to withdraw because of the same. Because there was no process of reservation in that. And all posts were allowed for everyone. It means people who are marginalized will not be in a position to get benefit of that. And that was the problem. When we go through the current status, you will find at highest level of Indian judiciary, we have only 4% of scheduled caste and approximately 4.78% scheduled tribes. Rest all are different. So they don't have appropriate representation at that place. If lateral entry will take place, then what will happen? Indirectly, government will go to snatch reservation. It will be indirect attempt to reduce the very philosophy of egalitarian society and socialism. That's why there is opposition. It will be essential for the country to understand that lateral entry is not bad. But lateral entry, when will be good and where will be good, that must be answered first. There should be consensus on lateral entry. I told you, Montek Singh Ahluwalia, Raghuram Rajan, they all are product of lateral entry. But that lateral entry was not going to affect civil service in India. If government is talking about a significance of lateral entry, by incorporating new energy to civil service, without hampering civil service, it will be essential for people of the country and government also to understand that indirectly government itself going to discredit civil service of this country. It means you are not ready to consider your civil servants capable enough to serve the country. And if government of the country is talking about the vacancies, then another question will arise, why on time you are not going to fill the post? If 4,000 posts are vacant, then why you people are not going to announce vacancies every year? Why only 1,000, maybe 2,000, maybe 3,000? So on one hand, you are going to confine yourself 1,000 vacancies. On the other hand, you are talking about, in that way it will be wrong. So lateral entry will be against the career bureaucrats. And if it will be against the career bureaucrat, then there will be a question of commitment. There will be a question of dedication. For 3 years, for 5 years, if I will come, why I will be committed to you? And there will be a problem of conflict of interest also. Right? So there will be a problem of conflict of interest also. Cultural difference you will find. Work culture, private sector work culture, public sector, both will be different. In public sector, you will find different hates. If your parents are in public sector, you will find health facility, touring facility, housing facility, market facility, this facility, that facility. In private sector, no facility. The person coming from private sector will not be in a position to understand the reason behind or the logic behind these all hates. But these hates are essential for welfare. So number of issues are there. Right? Lateral entry civil servants, so-called, will not fill the gap. they will always be short-term focused. Their dedication level will be less. Their conflict of interest will be major concern. Their accountability will be major concern. And one another big issue, they will be continuation of the spoil system. They will be continuation of spoil system in the country. And continuation of spoil system means what? New government will come, they will be removed. Then new people will come. In that way, patronage also will take place. And whenever patronage will take place, then merit will be sacrificed. So morale of civil servants, career bureaucrats will come down. Ethics will come down. And if civil servants are not performing, politicians will not be accountable. They also will be answerable. They also will be accountable. Right? So there must be meritocracy. There must be synergy. There must be scientific criteria to define the area where lateral entry will be productive, will be progressive, and there must be healthy competition in the country. It will be essential for the country to ensure accountability not only on part of civil servants but the political masters also, who are responsible to make civil servant efficient, effective and ethical, and equally inefficient, ineffective, unethical. So everywhere accountability will be essential, and whenever you will come out with accountability, then administrative performance will be better than today's, and the dream of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel will be realized. So lateral entry cannot be struck down. Lateral entry cannot be rejected in totality. At the same time, lateral entry cannot be solution to make administration efficient. Right? So essential for us to go with lateral entry, but lateral entry should not be a symbol of Gramscian theory of hegemony. You may know Gramscian theory of hegemony. So that should not be allowed, and if it will be allowed, then ethos and ethics of Antodaya will be affected. Civil servants in India are responsible to respect ethos of Antodaya. Civil servants are expected to be a custodian of the fundamental values. That will be affected. Okay? So in that way, we can talk about lateral entry also. But I will repeat again, whenever you will talk about lateral entry, the basic difference between experts and specialists, you will have to be careful about, and lateral entry must be interpreted in the light of the expected role of civil servant in democracy. And when I am talking about democracy, that will be vibrant democracy, that will be qualitative democracy, that will be crazy run by mature people. That kind of democracy, if will be regulated, will be run, then we will move towards ethical governance, and that ethical governance will ensure common interest rather than public interest. So this is all about lateral entry and the role of civil service. Of course, it will demand more time, but I have that much. So try to do justice. What you got, how you got, something new, something beneficial, because you all are coming all the way from Karol Bagh. Yeah. So productive or unproductive, honestly, in my class, that is a big problem. Honesty is most important issue, and punctuality is the utmost important issue. Today's so-called a master class over. We are master. So master class over, and hope to some extent something you are getting and you got. So in future, somewhere we will meet. Thank you very much.